Brown does too. Honestly speaking, it's an amazing game. The fan service, perfect. I'm gonna go through my account. Ignore the 100% bag. It's kind of been a problem recently. But this is my BD2 account. If we're discussing investment upon the characters, I like her. She's adorable. All of her arts are super cute. I'm slightly irked by the fact that I missed an alternate variation of her that was given out for half Annie, I believe, and I don't have it and cannot get it. But hey, if I can deal with it, I can deal with it here. Red Hood or Red Hat Rao is an extremely great character. I was gonna say Red Hood, kind of the same thing, doesn't matter. In this instant, I like her. She's the crit buffer. It's great. The shield has kept me alive so many times. Her Nature's Claw variation has been exceptional. Whilst the evasion itself isn't necessarily too useful in a lot of scenarios for me in particular, I mainly use her for that 12% of a target's max HP damage. It is exceptionally good in Last Night or any type of boss fight. And then a standard variation exists. It is most certainly a alternate costume. It is most certainly a character, just not a character I tend to use too much. For investment priority, I've just been going through on her, and this isn't like an account showcase, but I do like it and do want to emphasize that. Yuri, I love her. Guess what? I didn't realize this, but you know, she's cute, she's funny, she's adorable. If I'm looking into the character information though, I didn't know the base variation was 10, and then the other is 16. I was like super confused. I was like, wait a minute, she has like boobs in this one. What happened? So you know, yeah. Anyway, she has tits. It's been 6 years. I can excuse. I've invested into both. Particularly though, I'm talking about this one. I've max invested into her for this. Primarily speaking, if you're getting into this game, you're looking at costumes and you specifically are bonding with one. Bonding being the stats they take over. In this instance, if I were to bond with the comeback idol, I get all of these stats. But if I'm bonding with the Yuri variation, I only get attack percentage and HP because that's the only stats available. So I should switch this over. But bluntly speaking, when you're looking into a costume, these skill potentials carry over regardless of statistics, regardless of which costume you bond with. These white ones carry over permanently. That's what they're called, permanent. But these ones are all individually selectable via bonding. So you're picking one that gives you stats you already like. But idealistically, if you lose a character bunch and use both the costumes, you're going for all of their variations. Because, like, legitimately speaking, even if I don't use this as the bonding one, these permanent stats add up, but primarily, you're looking for any of these that give a buff to either the cooldown, the SP reduction, or damage. That's just a minor thing. But yes, Yuri is amazing. She's, I believe, in most scenarios, she's my second highest damaging unit. My highest damaging unit is Aris. She is +5. Her alternate variation is +1 because I don't use it too often, but she is +5. She is a collab character. This is her stats. I run her with 59 crit because Rao was giving about 50 crit as well, so she's technically over critting, but I don't want to change that too much because the Rao copies were unexpected. But yes, she's my best build character. I like her. I love her to death. She's amazing. I do want to min-max her gear at a later date, but for now, she is doing fine. In regards to bonds, Esteemed Eris or Esteemed Adventurer here is exceptionally maxed out. If I'm looking at the other, the cat, that is also maxed out. So this is the first character I hyper invested into in regards to their abilities. Leatrice, I'm not gonna lie, I have all 3 variations of her. I don't care too much. She wasn't Aris, so she took a back seat, as you can see here. And her gear took a back seat. She's using the SR variation. I will switch it over to a UR craftable or a UR variation of her gear if I eventually get it, but you know. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie. The main reason I even pulled Leatrice here is for, where is it? It's for this. Like, this screen right here is the entire reason I pulled this character, because I was like, wait a minute, damn. So yeah, this lobby menu is perfect. But if I'm looking through the other lobby menu characters, Game Girl Rafina, I pulled this also. Once again, I'm pretty sure I've seen a hentai like this. I'm pretty sure I've seen a video like this somewhere. But this was why I pulled it. So, you know, I feel like, just in a blunt fan note, the fan service in this game, it's there. It's pretty in your face. But the reason as to why I like the fan service and why I'm perfectly fine with it is because it's equal. No matter what character you are going for, this one. No matter what character you like, you are getting pretty equal fan service all throughout. Like, for example, if we're looking into, let's remove her. Actually, let's remove Rifle. Yeah, let's go here to DJ Vaneka. And if I'm just combing through all of these characters, DJ Vaneka, that ass is in your face. So you can't really ignore it. This video is probably not getting monetized. But Rafithia, her, she's cute, she's funny, and this is her lobby. So the fan service is spread both to the cute and funny and flat enjoyers, and to those who like mommy characters, and even the guys who I don't build because we don't have twinks. But yeah, so within that aspect, I think BD2 is actually quite nice. If you're looking to add me, this is the room. I need to actually update it more because I have a shit ton of gold that I'm just not using. I'm not in a guild. I should probably make one. This should probably be in the description down below if I remember it, but I usually forget to do this. So, you know, here. Regardless of circumstance though, BD2 has fan service that is spread so evenly throughout that I'm not necessarily annoyed by it. It also presents itself within that fashion. When you start up the game and when you first do your pulling session, the game is pretty blunt about the fan service that will be present within it. The fan service relating to each character. And yeah, you can pull. And for me, it does irk me that these characters don't have relationship stories. Yes, I understand some of them are featured within the main story, and some of them are featured within these parallel universe stories, but outside of that, you don't get relationship stories, which irks me a little bit. But the reason as to why I'm like, oh, I love this game, and why it irked me within the context of Snowbreak, which I still am playing off to the side, just not covering necessarily, is because first off, this game always, it's like Nikke. This game has always presented itself as, hey, this is a big part of the game, but it's not all of the game. And secondarily, the fan service is tasteful here. And the fan service is tasteful in Nikke. And it's also tasteful within Azure Lane and Blue Archive. I feel like when Snowbreak did it, it just went for the default big ass, big tits, and nothing else. And that's what irks me about that. At least be creative with your fan service. This is a little bit more creative. That's a tangent. Regardless, like Anastasia, she was my first character. I adore this girl. She's super cute. This is just a very in-your-face type of deal. But regardless of circumstance, I like Groundless 2. And there are multiple reasons I do like it. Fan service aside, I like the concept of getting a character who I do like. In this instance, let's say Aris. And getting gear for them. Maybe it's not the best gear, because it could be UR4. But I like the concept of saying, okay, how do I want to build you? Do I want to crit fish, which is a lot of individuals do? Or do I want to build you up with a balanced crit ratio and then work my way up from there? Do I want to build you to be resistant to physical damage or to magic damage? And do I want to swap out your gear depending on the circumstance? I like the concept of gearing a character and min-maxing them to the best potential. And yeah, the costume copies are the equivalent to constellations, to manifestations, and so on. So that is something that a lot of gachas have. But like the gearing system, that's something I legitimately like. I understand the damage formula because it's basically the same as something like crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, and so on. And yes, you do have stuff like magic attack and so on that are interchangeable in some instances, but I understand this at a baseline. And so for me, it's easier to get in and know exactly how I want to build my characters. It's easy for me to look at this and be like, okay, I want to build this specific crit ratio, and I already know how to attack on buffs, which in this instance would be also that's plus 50%, and that's very easy for me to run with. I also know how stats in this game influence one another. I know that I'm getting 100% attack in this instance from White Bolt, whereas I'm getting a bunch of crit damage from the other combat idol. And these benefit each other. And so for me, it allows me to be a bit more, not necessarily flexible, but it allows me to have a solid goal. Hey, I want to log in today and I want to improve my White Bolt, my Yuri. Hey, I want to log in today, I want to improve my Aris. And even though I am still lacking within the context of, yeah, these characters don't get good characterization, and for Eris' story in particular, she's not really, she's a you know, a character that was made for a collab, so she's not getting much externally or much in regards to future content for this game. She's still a nice character. But even excluding that, the game's community, despite being a little bit of a dumbass one sometimes, is still cool. Everybody simps for somebody. You are inclined to find some individuals who simp for the same character you do, or at the very least like them. But contrary to Blue Archive, they don't necessarily care as much about the character because there isn't as much character here. But similar to BA, because everyone simps, just like Nikke, no one complains as much. You're gonna have the occasional offhanded complaint, but it's nowhere near the same level as something like Genshin or the horse fandom. And within that same context and that same opinion and environment, you also have a situation to where the community itself is kind of rallied around, hey, I simp, you simp, I don't really give a fuck what you simp for, you're cool, in any capacity. The game is also, unlike BA, way more generous. The game has BA's gacha system, basically, but the game just throws pulls at you. Ignore the pain. This 160, this 20. Basically, I've gotten these without doing much of anything, because you have so many events that will just toss them. You get the character copy, here's 10 back. You get another copy, here's another 10. You get the initial copy, here's 10 for every single banner. And this counts if you have already had the character. Because H. Latho is somebody you can pick up and buy in the shop, getting additional copies of him will automatically just give you these. Subsequently, you also have this, which under most circumstances will just give you pulls. I already maxed out the pull quantity it's gonna give you, so you know, that doesn't count here, that doesn't show up here. And the game will toss it at you. Events, if I go to the event tab as of right now, this event has pulls available for purchase, 15, I believe. Yeah, 15 pose. These tiers of goddesses, which are extremely valuable, are very useful. The game throws a lot of this stuff at you, and as a result, as a new player, it can feel a bit overwhelming, but it does feel very generous. And unless you're pulling like every single character on every single banner, what you usually won't do because a lot of them are reruns, and a lot of them get added to standard, you really will have a decent stash of pulls. Even if we're going all the way down to the standard banner for draw costumes, you can pretty much select any standard character, and unless somebody's limited, they will be added here. If I remove Raphithia here, I can just take Gigi Veneca, who is in the last banner, and now I have a higher chance of getting one of these characters, including her. And that's really useful, because it means you can save up your pulls for something like Arcanines. This is the equivalent for something like limited banners, because this is the equivalent to Nikke's wishlist system. This is different from Arcanines, where the standard pool is so bloated that's kind of difficult to ever get the character you want. I've wanted Surtur in Arcanines for ages. I don't have Surtur. But that's a side note. I don't get out. No. I want the wedding dress. Anyway, I recommend BD2. It's honestly a fun game. I wanted to go on a tangent. I kind of forgot the whole purpose of this video, but I don't want this to be like 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna cut this short here. Play it. Legitimately though. It's available. It has a PC. It has a mobile. It's a mobile game, so it does work either way. There's a portrait mode that's kind of hidden away. I don't know why it is. Oh, also, as a side note, all of the respective premium tier for the battle pass, yeah, you can purchase that with your free-to-play gems. So you don't even need to spend on the battle pass. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. By the way, I'll see you guys next time. I suppose next video will be HSR or BA. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Zenless Zone Zero, since I haven't covered that yet as a full video. But either way, goodbye.